everybody, it's Paige Evans. Thank you so much for joining me for day 11 of my 12 days of cut files. I have two process videos to share with you today, so it's one cut file used two different ways. So today's cut file is a love you heart, and my idea was to shrink it down and create little frames. So here it comes about 11 inches, and so I am shrinking it down to fit in a 4 by 4 inch square section. Then I'm going to copy, paste, and fill up the entire background. So I have 9 little hearts. So copy, paste, and moving them around to fit exactly in the 4-inch square areas. And then I am going to use my new Splendid collection, which starts shipping in April, and I'm going to use, I can't remember, but I think I'm only using papers from the 6x8 paper pad. Looks like one full 12 by 12 piece of paper as well. So rainbow of colors, sticking with mostly solid papers, and got all the colors of the rainbow: pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. So no straight up red. I am substituting red for a couple shades of pink. And I'll cut 9 4-inch squares of these pattern papers to mirror what's happening in Silhouette Studio. So I've got 9 hearts, 9 love you hearts. Each one fits in a 4-inch square area. So I'm going to cut 9 4-inch square pieces of pattern paper and place them on the sticky mat in the exact same placement as they are in Silhouette Studio. And this way it will cut out all 9 love you hearts for me in one pass, instead of having or running it through the machine 9 different times. This is just an easy way to get it to cut out all of them at once. So I am changing the material to pattern paper, and I love using a ratchet blade. I'm going to decrease the speed because this cut file is so tiny and thin and intricate, so I'm just going to slow it down to a speed of 3. And you can see it's going to take just over 12 minutes for the Silhouette Cameo to cut out all 9 of these love you hearts. So my mat is fairly new, and so it's very sticky, and these cut files are so thin and delicate that I'm being extra super duper careful as I'm peeling them off the mat so that they don't tear. So just take your time as you're peeling these off. You can use a palette knife to help you get it off the mat. And I'm going to save those larger inner hearts because for me, it's a pretty big piece of pattern paper left over still, so I could always use those to punch things from, or even do additional backing pieces for other cut files. So I did end up tearing one of them. No big deal. I can just glue it back in place and no one will ever know, except if you're watching, you'll know that it tore. But a little bit of glue and it dries and we're ready to move on. So I thought about using that ledger paper as my background, but the typewriter and the other embellishment on the top left, I just wanted the hearts to be the focus. So I try to shy away from using white cardstock as my background often, just because I'm such a fan of pattern paper. I love using pattern paper anyway, anytime I can. But I do feel like these cut files are so delicate that having the bright white background helped them pop off the background the most. So that's why I used a white cardstock background. And just for a fun alternative, instead of gluing them down or using spray adhesive on the backs to adhere them down, I'm using a tiny Tatcher stapler and stapling them here and there. So I can't reach the center heart with this particular stapler. I know there are some staplers that have a long arm where you can reach into the center of 12 by 12 layouts, but in this case I attached the 8 hearts around the edges here and there using a tiny attacher, and I am going to glue this heart in the center. Now this was the very first process video that I actually made in real time when I was deciding to make these, so I didn't have my favorite glue yet, and I think it might be the second layout or the next video where I finally got my hands on the Barely Art liquid glue and my life changed. My scrapping is so much quicker and easier with the Barely Art glue. Okay, yep, I brought out the mixed media, so the kitties came to investigate. They are so silly. Oh, so I am splashing watercolors on top, mixing colors to match the same color of papers that I used. And so I'm trying to confine the paint splatters into the areas of the heart, but it's totally okay if it goes over into the next heart. No problem with that. We're just adding an extra layer of color and interest and fun, and just enhancing the color on color or tone on tone theme. So splashing the watercolors, these are by Prima. I love how opaque they are. I don't believe they are at scrapbook.com currently. Maybe they'll bring them back in stock, but these are my absolute favorite watercolors. I just love how opaque they are when they dry. Another layer of interest, I'm going to come in with some watered down white acrylic paint, and by doing this as the top layer, it ties everything together, so you're going to get the white paint splatters across the entire background. So I have printed, I can't remember, I'm doing this voiceover a couple weeks after the fact, I think 9 photos, about 1.5 inches square, and going to use the Love You cut files as frames. And I kind of tried to match the photos with the color of the cut file. So you can see there's a blue background on that bottom middle photo, so I put it inside the darker blue heart. And the top left, I'm wearing a pink shirt, so it's in the darker pink heart area. So tried to match my photos, but sometimes it didn't exactly work out to match perfectly, but that's okay. Sometimes it worked out, and awesome. I'm going to continue with the tone on tone embellishing. So I'm just going to grab basically all the embellishments from Splendid, and if it fits the theme, then I'm going to see if I can add it into that section. So a pink bird in the pink section, a pink butterfly in the lighter pink section, and adding a yellow heart paper clip to the yellow heart section, blue birds to the blue section, etc. So I'm going through the embellishments, finding colors and icons and words and sentiments that I feel like go along with my love for my cats, because it's true, they bring me so much joy. They are my constant companions throughout the day. So this is just a really fun technique. It's kind of a grid-based design, right? Because I've got 3 across and 3 down, so I've got 9 sections or 9 little grids, one grid with 9 sections, and treating each space as its own mini layout, right? So each one has got a photo, except for the center, and that's where I'm going to do my journaling. So leave a section for journaling, but each little section has a photo and embellishments and a love you title. So by just sticking with the colorways and adding any embellishments that go along with the theme, this layout is just really fun and eye-catching. So coming in with teeny tiny cardstock stickers in between here and there. And I could just go at this for hours finding all of the fun little color coordinating things. So just trying to show you my thought process and how I went about creating this layout, and starting with kind of the larger embellishments first and then coming in with smaller and smaller and smaller. Definitely can always find a sentiment or two that I can add to enhance the story. Splendid has an 8-page sticker book and floral die cuts, chipboard stickers. I have sold out of my pre-orders just from doing this series and promoting it. So I've sold out of my pre-orders, but do check my shop frequently when I do get my order, because I will have some extras of some of the embellishments that I will put in my shop. Moving things around. Oh, look, it looks like I got my Barely Art glue that very same day. That's right. I was using one liquid glue in the morning, and then by the afternoon my order came for this glue, and then my life changed. It really did. I'm such a fan of this glue. It dries quickly, it dries clear, the nozzle is so tiny that you can get even into the teeniest of tiniest spots, and if you keep the pin in it, then you don't have to keep re-piercing the hole. I wonder if I could have just kept a pin in my previous glue. Uh, anyway, my life changed having this glue. Makes scrapbooking so much easier. So now I am adding some, what are these called? Enamel dots. And there's dots, squares, and hearts in the rainbow of colors from Splendid. So adding those here and there in the same tone on tone technique. So here in the center, I have added some label stickers, yellow ones, and a tab sticker. So I'm going to write my journaling. I thought about writing it with a yellow pen, but I really don't think you'd be able to see the journaling as well. So my cats have some black fur, so I'm using a black pen, and that will just draw out that color. And there is a roller stamp in Splendid. I'm super duper excited about this because most of my date stamps, they ran out after 2020 or 2021, and this one starts at, oh gosh, I'm sorry, I can't remember what year it starts. Maybe 2021 and goes all the way for 10 years, and then has a underline where you can write in the year. So it should be able to work for the rest of time. So here is the finished layout. I hope you were inspired by it in some way and you pick up my 12 Days of Love cut files. Don't go too far. I have another process video showing how to use the larger version of this Love You heart cut file. Thank you so much for watching. See you again real soon and tomorrow for the last project. Have a great day.